Diet Mountain Dew, the breakfast of champions, the nectar of the gods. I believe I won 3 cases yesterday from you on the Aaron Rodgers gag game and on Patrick Mahomes' failure to throw 4 touchdowns. I think he only had 2. Who knew? And how about them Cowboys? I didn't even need the 7 points. We won it straight up on the field. Take that.
Your day coming.
Woo!
Let's go Thanksgiving. Let's go watch it.
Did you sleep last night? You're riled up right now. Too much Mountain Dew over there for you. Yes. The Cowboys did beat the Vikings, and this is going to be a long day for me. Skip's Cowboys rode Ezekiel Elliott to their 3rd win of the season against the Vikings on the road yesterday. Zeke had his first 100-yard game of the season, and Andy Dalton threw 3 touchdowns in his return, including 1 to Elliott. Dallas is now in a 3-way tie with New York and Washington for 2nd in the NFC East behind Philadelphia. And after the win, Zeke said, quote, "We've got to make sure we build on the success and keep getting better." So, Shannon, did the Cowboys look like a team that could win the NFC East?
That's easy. This NFC East is pathetic. Let's project out. Does it look like a team that contended in the NFC? Absolutely not.
That wasn't the question.
Skip, here's the thing. It's easy. Because that division is pathetic.
Then you just admitted it was easy.
They win on Thursday. They will be in first place with 4 wins. That's not saying anything.
Home playoff game, baby.
Skip.
How about it?
Come on, Skip. Come on. Look, I'm going to give them credit. They played extremely well yesterday. They got back to their bread and butter. They were able to run the football with Zeke. Zeke looked fresh coming off the bye week. Tony Pollard ran really hard. What did they have? 31 attempts, 180 yards. And now the play action was there for Andy Dalton. 22 of 32, 203, and a touchdown, 3 touchdowns. So when you can run the football, that's what let's not overcomplicate this thing. When they can run the football and they have as many rush attempts as pass attempts, the Cowboys can stay close in every game. The defense didn't play great, but they were opportunistic. They made plays when they needed, especially that last drive to keep the Vikings from even getting in field goal range. D-Law got it started early, got the sack. The DB out, I forget the number 37.
Donovan Wilson. You better remember his name. He's emerging.
Grabbed and pulled the ball out of Kirk Cousins' hands before he was able to get to the turf. And so give them credit, Skip. They were very opportunistic yesterday. They ran the ball. They looked like a team. But this is the NFC East, Skip. This is not the NFC. This is not the AFC North. This is not one of these divisions where you got a team that has 8, 9 wins in it. You got 4 wins. Hold on. Let's see. 3. So in other words, they got as many wins combined as the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we're over here talking about, it doesn't look like a team that could win the NFC East. Anybody can win the NFC East. That's not saying anything.
Well, there are only 4 in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay. So they all have 3.
So we gonna shake them up, Skip, shake the bag up. Okay. Whoever comes out of this shaking bag, that's who's gonna win. But I give them credit for yesterday, Skip. They played well. This is the best we've seen the Cowboys look this entire season. And they didn't let the Vikings get too far ahead and have to play catch up. So the running game was viable throughout the entirety of the game. Can they win this division? Sure. And I said this, even if they had won no games, because nobody had run away with the division, they were always going to be a player in the division. But all things being equal, if you say right now, who do you think? I would probably say the Giants, but I probably trust their quarterback less than I trust Andy Dalton.
Really?
Yes.
So you say Andy Dalton is the best quarterback remaining in the NFC East, including your man, Give It To Him Wentz, who now has by 5 the most turnovers in the entire league.
I said I like the Giants, but I trust their quarterback less than I trust Andy Dalton.
Aha.
That's what I said.
You did not mention the Eagles that you picked to win the division.
I'm not talking about them.
Okay, you're not talking about them.
I'm not talking about them right now.
It is my turn. Thank you. Finally. It feels like we haven't won a game that mattered for like 3 years.
It does.
Finally, we went on the road for the first time this year.
Is that really a road game with no fans?
It was a road game. It was way up there on the frozen tundra of Minneapolis.
Man, there's air conditioning in that bit of a dome.
And we were 7-point dogs, and nobody gave us a chance, including me. I did not think they could win that game. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? they finally looked like a real football team with a real defense and a real offense that made plays that had to be made and real special teams. And I finally sat back at the end of the night and I said, that's the team I thought would win the East this year. This team is now the best team in the East. This team has the best opportunity to win the East because its remaining schedule is the second easiest in the whole National Football League, and we'll get more into the other schedules in this division later. But suffice it to say that the other schedules are much, much harder than the Dallas Cowboys' remaining schedule. I believe my team is now in the catbird seat because guess what? I had a Zeke sighting. He didn't even do this yesterday, but he actually qualified to be doing some of this yesterday because of a critical move during the bye week of Zach Martin, one of the best linemen in pro football, from right guard to right tackle. It solidified everything. Connor McGovern, who's got some talent, at least you can kind of hide him as a young player, second-year player, at right guard. Right. And all of a sudden, Zach Martin was road grading off the edge, and Zeke was looking for Zach Martin and running behind him. And Zeke's thunder was complemented once again by the lightning of Tony Pollard. Just when you get used to the fullback runs of Zeke, all of a sudden, there he went off the edge, got loose. It was a horrible effort by one of the Minnesota DBs. I don't know what he was doing, but it's okay with me.
We'll Skip, what happens in a situation
we lulled you to sleep with Zeke's fullback runs.
Yeah, the cornerback, Skip, he has to come right now, and he has to give a better effort than that because you watch the receiver go crack the safety. So now you got that's the support. You are now support. And one hand is not going to get it done. And
once Tony Pollard actually got loose in the secondary, he was actually gone. Yeah. Do you realize that was my first run all year of 30-plus yards, and it went for 42? Zeke is more of a plow horse now. Yes. We know that. Yes. But all of a sudden, you have a complement, some lightning to the thunder. And how about my man CeeDee Lamb yesterday? Was he not the difference maker that I said he would be the night they drafted him? It's a program changer. It's a life changer to get CeeDee Lamb, and he made the play of the game because I believe he made the catch of the year in the National Football League, if we could see that, to put them up 13-7. Wow. And it was the kind of play that makes the rest of the team say, God, we got that guy on our side.
Well, Skip, if you think about it, late in the ball game, Minnesota had a chance to put it away because the DB undercut Schultz on the slant, and he missed it, and he gave him a second opportunity. You got to cash in those, Skip. You got to cash in those. You got it. You guessed right.
Well, I think we're talking about CeeDee Lamb right now. Are you trying to ignore that? Skip, how could you ignore that play? That's the catch of the year.
Stop it. It's not the catch of the year.
Flip in midair.
Skip, it ain't the catch of the year.
And crash up to his back and hold on to the football. It was the play of the year. Trust me, that whole bench said, oh, my God, we got a playmaker.
So we just went from last week, DeAndre Hopkins possibly having the greatest catch of all time, to now this was the season.
Well, I didn't say that. You said that.
I didn't say that. But this definitely not the catch of the year.
Well, we'll get into that a little later also. And finally, the real AD emerged for the Dallas Cowboys. That AD in L.A., I don't really care about him. This is AD. We're talking about Andy as Dandy.
Okay.
We're talking about AD as in Andy Dalton. How many clutch throws did he make yesterday? How about that 4th and 6 from the 29 with 2:05 left in that last drive? Went for it, threw a rifle shot out to Amari Cooper. Can you believe? He actually played a road game and actually caught some big balls. Amari, who disappeared on the road all last year, he finally came to play away from Jerry World. What a catch, what a throw, what a play. That set the tone for the game-winning touchdown to Dalton Schultz.
Well, Skip, there's really nothing he can do. They know they're playing two-man. They're playing inside leverage. So all Amari has to do is just get a nice release, and he's home free.
It takes guts. It takes the throw.
Yes,
you got to throw it hard, and you got to throw it true.
Yes.
And it was all of the above.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my defense and the guy whose name you don't remember, but you will. Donovan Wilson. I've said on this show before, I loved him when he was at Texas A&M because he blew up everything that got in his way. Sometimes he blew himself up too. But he was a 6th-round steal for the Dallas Cowboys 2 years ago, and he is just now emerging as a safety that we never had. So he makes 2 plays that changed the game. You mentioned one. It was a DeMarcus Lawrence sack, but it was a blitz, which I think it might have been the only blitz that Mike Nolan called the whole day, which was driving me out of my mind. But Donovan Wilson rolls over on Kirk Cousins and just flat out pops him right in the breadbasket and takes the football away from him. And it was a huge play because it gave him a short field early touchdown.
Right.
And guess what? Kaboom. Kirk got a little whiplash on that play.
That was a solid hit. Yeah, absolutely it did.
And speaking of solid hits, how about later in the half with 1:03 left in the second quarter, Dalvin Cook catches a little ball over the middle and kaboom! Laying the wood was Donovan Wilson, and Mike McCarthy after the game called him a flat-out stud.
Yeah.
A stud.
Helmet right on the ball.
Boom. That was a legal hit.
Yeah.
It took Dalvin Cook a while to get his senses back from that hit. I'm happy that he was okay and was able to return, and he got his average. He got his 115 yards.
Right.
But who would have thunk that my team would go for 180 and they would go for what was their total?
129, I think.
Yeah,
125.
125. 180 to 125? Who knew?
Well, Skip, the thing is that I knew Dalvin Cook was going to get 100 because Cool was going to stay committed to the running game. And because when you can run it, you see Cousins' number, Skip, 22 or 30, 314, 3 touchdowns with the 1 interception. And that's what you can do when you run the football. You look at Andy Dalton because they can run it. Everybody was wide open, Skip. It wasn't like they were fitting balls into tight windows. It's because you have to sell out to stop their run. If you can't stop the run with your 7, now you got to commit. Guys are going to be wide open. So, Skip, I want to I'm not going to be like you. Because when my team wins, you come up with every excuse why they won. I'm just going to say you guys played better than the Vikings yesterday. Vikings didn't play bad, but the Cowboys made plays when they needed to make plays. And that's what you have to do.
Okay, so I hate to say I told you so, but I saw this coming. Because
what'd you see coming?
At Philly, my team with Ben DiNucci at quarterback had the Eagles on the ropes in the third quarter. Am I right?
No, you had nobody on no rope with DiNucci.
They had a chance to go ahead 16-7, and you know the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Okay, then against Pittsburgh at Jerry World with Garrett Gilbert at quarterback, really the 4th-string quarterback. Did my team not play well enough to win that game? Yes, they did.
Well, Steelers were looking past you guys.
Okay, they may have been, but we had them on the ropes 2 or 3 times, and the referees took Pittsburgh off the ropes. The referees let them out of what should have been in game for them at Jerry World.
Well, you got a break yesterday. You only had 4 penalties. They had 8. You had 30 yards. They had 80.
Okay, well, I'll take that.
And so it balances out over the course of a year.
Okay. So
first of all, you should have lost to the Falcons, and there's another game that you ended up with, the Giants. So really, you should have one win. You should have one win.
Ancient history.
You know it too.
Okay, but Andy Dalton saved the day against the Giants.
Yes.
With 2 late clutch passes, both to Michael Gallup, who, by the way, had a terrible game yesterday, had 2 big drops. But it didn't matter because CD and Amari overcame it, Zeke overcame it, Tony Pollard overcame it. And yet, now it looks like if you really put a pencil to the schedule and you start doing dubs and L's, it looks like it's going to come down to Dallas at Giants in the final regular season game. And I will give you, the Giants have been playing much better to the point they've looked at times like the best team in the division. Yesterday, my Cowboys look like the best team in the division, and my Cowboys have Washington at home this Thursday, Thanksgiving, and I believe they can win that game. Then they have some hard games left, but they also have a bunch of easy games because they get the 3 division opponents. They play them each one more time, but they get Washington and Philly at home.
Correct.
They have to go to the Giants for the last game, and it could be coming down to who wins 6 games to win the division.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And I like my team's chances against Daniel Jones on the road.
Your team also, and I think everybody gets Cincinnati minus Joe Burrow Hopefully he heals up real soon.
And again, it's but the Giants go at this weekend.
Right.
And then we have a game at Cincinnati.
Right.
We have to go to Baltimore,
Right.
but so does, I believe, Washington has to go to Baltimore.
But that's not the Baltimore that we were thinking and everybody envisioned at the beginning of the season.
It is not. But do I think my team can win at Baltimore? I don't. But I don't really care because they've got Washington, Philly at home and Giants away. And my team plays well against the Giants. My team, the only team in the division that we have beaten is the Giants.
Right.
So I like our chances against the Giants because all of a sudden they don't have Saquon Barkley, and my team is starting to show you it won't get run out of the building anymore. It won't give up 307 yards to Cleveland. It won't give up, what was it? Was it 300 yards to Arizona?
240 to Arizona.
Yeah. Or to Washington, 200 plus.
Yeah.
That won't happen anymore. Why is that? Because Jerry got rid of all the malcontents who were just truth-telling in the locker room. They didn't like what Mike Nolan was trying to do to the defense. All the remaining players have bought into the system, as flawed as it might be.
I think the thing is, Skip, and also the guys started playing their technique. They had played a very familiar. They had played a technique where you do a lot of slanting, and guys were wanted to freelance. And in this defense, you can't do that. And we're going to talk about the Raiders. It got the Raiders beat last night because everybody slanted inside. They washed it down, let my homeboys get to the edge, and he took it long. Like, oh, there you go, Travis. And he threw Kelsey the ball. Skip, but when you look at this, the Cowboys do have the easiest schedule because I'm looking at the Giants' schedule. They still have at Cincinnati, minus Joe Burrow, but they're at Seattle. Get Arizona. Now, how Arizona's going to be in the cold, it's going to be real cold to come December. And they still got Cleveland. They get Cleveland at home. They get Baltimore, go to Baltimore, and they get Dallas in their building.
Okay.
So of the teams, them and Philly have the toughest. Cowboys have the easiest, but here's the thing. Can the Cowboys capitalize on what they accomplished yesterday? Because if you don't, yesterday didn't even matter.
Okay. Well, most players will tell you, most good players like Tom Brady will tell you the NFL doesn't even start until Thanksgiving. So I'll say the NFC East is starting on Thanksgiving. It is.
Well, normally teams have you played 10 games. You like to feel somewhere you're like 73, 8-2. But hey, we'll take 3-7 right now and be right smack dab in the middle of a division lead.
Speaking of smack dab in the middle, there's a new player who has come back, and I told you on Friday has changed life on the defense, and it is the Wolf Hunter.
Oh yeah, he's
Leighton Vander Esch is a stud.
Yeah,
Leighton Vander Esch will stick his nose in the hole. He will take on Dalvin Cook as he did several times yesterday. Just head-to-head, mask-to-mask.
He's not the greatest in coverage, but as far as stopping the run,
he will get there and he will deliver a blow.
Yeah.
And it's changed the whole sort of solidarity of the defensive front. They're trusting that he will get where he's supposed to be and smack somebody.
Get everybody else lined up.
Jalen Smith never seemed to be where he's supposed to be. He runs around. Sometimes he gets his hands on the ball.
More of a Willie. He's more of a weak side backer than a middle backer, Skip. Because a middle backer, you can't run around. Because if you run around blocks, the running back is right behind that block and he's going. Wolf Hunter is taking people on. He reminds me, and this was way before people's time, and I know you remember him, John Offerdahl played with the Miami Dolphins. He's big, rangy like that. And you look at him like, man, I'm going to run over this dude. Well, he can drop his hips, and he packs a wallop.
Yep, and he ain't afraid.
No.
He will stick his nose in the hole.
You got a button press, you play that position.
So yesterday, I saw a real football team. Yesterday,
oh my God,
I saw a team, even with Andy Dalton, who is obviously not Dak Prescott. But I'm going to remind everybody one more time, he's made 3 Pro Bowls. His first 5 years in the league, as long ago as they were, he averaged 10 wins a year. He's been there and done all that before. He's not afraid of the big moments.
Yeah, I get it. Minnesota had been playing well.
They'd won 3 in a row, and they had run Green Bay off the frozen tundra at Lambeau
Field. They beat the Bears. Let's not forget, this is the same team that got blown out at home by the Falcons.
Everything has changed.
Oh, okay.
I got it. Everything has changed. All of a sudden, they have figured out a formula whereby they can win. They have people emerging on defense that make them legit on defense.
Who? Did you talk about Minnesota or your team, the Cowboys?
My team, obviously.
Okay, Skip. See, this is why some people can't get good things. Because, see, you overreact. And see, you get a little good win, and here you go. Now you talk about you're going to challenge in the NFC. Stop this.
I didn't say challenge the NFC. I just said we're about to have a home playoff game, and then we'll let the chips fall.
And the trip go fall on your head.
Okay.
Skip, you know you're not beating anybody.
Probably not. And I'm willing to say goodbye high draft pick. We just lost it yesterday, and that's okay. Well, I've decided we didn't really need it anyway. We'll be okay.
But Skip, look, Cook played well. He ran like I thought he would. Andy First Cousins was phenomenal, but there was a big drop on the final drive by Jefferson. And what he's going to have to understand as a rookie in situations like that, understand the situation. The most important thing is the first down. Not run after the catch. Just catch the football, secure the football. See, Skip, that's all you got to do. Just secure the football. Everything's going to be okay. And that's something that you learn over time. He'll get better at this because the kid is a phenomenal talent.
He's a phenomenal talent. He's gotten a lot of buzz, a lot of hype. And CeeDee Lamb went in there yesterday saying, I'm going to show you. And he did with the catch of the year. He had a couple other big catches and big moments.
Yep, that was not the catch of the year.
CeeDee Lamb,
stop saying
well, it just was. So in the biggest picture, I'm looking at Andy Dalton as good enough to win. Who's better than Andy Dalton in the division right now? Seriously.
Skip the division.
Alex Smith had a bad game yesterday, and they survived.
They want the defense. I mean, the defense get after you now.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Del Rio, they get after you. They got a lot of high draft picks on that defensive line. They can come get you. And the question is, can you hold up to probably take advantage of the secondary? Mm-hmm. The Giants have a good quality team, but do I trust their quarterback? Because he'll turn the ball. He's a turnover machine, too. We talk about walking to him, and rightfully so. But he's a step behind walking to him as far as turning the ball over. And then that dumpster fire that they got going on in Philly. Hopefully we don't have to talk about them. But your team won. I'm going to give you credit, Skip. It's your day. Hey, get your flowers. I'm going to give you your flowers, your perfume right now. I want you to enjoy it. But your day coming.
Well, my day's coming just in 3 more days because it's going to be Happy Thanksgiving at Jerry World.
And they're going to be okay?
Yep.
Okay.
We have a debt to pay the Washington football team.
Why you going to pay that?
Well, they even, how cheap of a shot was that on Andy Dalton? We got to get even.
What no cheap shot?
Yep. Here we
Interesting.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.